Alright, so Cadence is 6 months and I think a week. Yeah, about 6 months and a week now, almost. Uh, she doesn't have her doctor's appointment until next Thursday, but we're leaving on Saturday for Chicago, so I thought it'd be easier to do a video now. I weighed her here. She's 16 pounds 2 ounces. This has been a really big month for her. I think I said in the last video that she had started to kind of self-wean in a way. She didn't really care to nurse, which is weird because I mean she comfort nursed so much in the first like 6 weeks of her life. I thought she was gonna be like impossible to wean, but she was pretty much doing it herself. She just wasn't interested that much anymore. She wouldn't stay latched, and I was worried about her eating, so I ended up pumping almost all of last month, and then I decided I was going to wean her at 6 months because I was already having to supplement, and I was taking, forever to get one meal for her. So I just went ahead and I weaned her, which I made my goal. I wanted to make it to 6 months, and I did. Unfortunately, it wasn't exclusive like I wanted, but I mean, it's not, I wasn't going to try to starve her just so she didn't have to get any formula or anything ridiculous like that. So yeah, she's on formula and solids now. She's been on solids since the day before she turned 6 months. She was just eating constantly. I mean, she was drinking like 5 ounces, 6 ounces every 2 hours, and I couldn't get her to drink any more in one sitting. So I went ahead and I started her on bananas, and now she eats bananas, pears, and we just started carrot last night. She didn't so much care for the carrot, but we'll find out again today because she didn't like bananas the first try either. But she hasn't had any kind of adverse reactions. She's still pooping perfectly. She's not gassy or in any kind of discomfort, so that's good. She's just now, like, since yesterday, really starting to sit up a lot on her own. Like, she can do it, like, right now. Ooh, see? She doesn't have the balance quite yet, but she's had the strength for ages. I think oh, you're a little stinky. Are you tooting? Anyways, she cut her first tooth like 3 days after she turned 6 months, and it was quick. Like, I mean, it looked like it was gonna pop through for weeks, and then all of a sudden it just boom, it was there. It was awesome. And her second one started to poke through now too. It just barely broke the skin, or her gums. So hopefully that one will come through enough to not bother her much longer. Even though she's teething, it hasn't disrupted her sleep at all. And that's another humongous thing. She was sleeping so bad a couple weeks ago that I called a sleep consultant, and she was worth every penny because the next night she slept for 12 hours, getting up once. And she did that for 2 days. 2 days she got up once, and then she didn't get up again. She has been sleeping 11 and a half, 12 hours every night since, without having to get up to eat. I mean, this child was getting up like 3 or 4, 5 times in the night, and then all of a sudden, like that, none. And it was, the whole thing with the sleep consultant is they tell you what you're doing wrong, how to fix it, what you're doing right, how to keep doing it, and then they give you a sleep method, a sleep training method. I never had to use any method. I just watched her sleep cues, and since they changed recently, she, like, when she's rubbing her eyes, it's too late. She's gonna hit her second wind and she's not gonna sleep. But now I put her down when she starts to kind of like, stare off into the distance or slow down. Really? And it's made a humongous difference. I put her on her zippity zip, I lay her down in her crib, and that's that. She's asleep usually in a few minutes. It can take up to half an hour, but she just kind of lays there and talks, or she rolls around and stares at her music box or something like that. You want to stand? Let's see. She's starting to try to pull up on her own. If I lay on the floor with her, she'll scoot to me now. Like, she'll not quite like an army crawl, but she'll put her like hands, their fists together, and she'll like throw herself, and she'll move like 2 inches. It's so cute, and she'll just do that until she gets to you. So she'd get to me, and then she'd try to put her arms up on my ribs, and then she'd pull herself up, and with some help from me, like just to balance her, she'll get all the way up to her feet. Now she can't obviously stand because I'm, you know, she's more like bent over. But yeah, she does it on her own, and she just again she started that yesterday. And she's not babbling very much. Like she was babbling a lot before. Now she just still says her ahs and oohs. And every now and again she'll, you know, spit out like a gah or something like that. She doesn't really laugh much. It drives me crazy. Like I will do anything I can think, everything I can think of, and sometimes she'll laugh. Generally, it's like when she wants my attention. Like if I'm doing the dishes and she's on the floor playing, I'll look over to her when she's, you know, kind of like calling out for me, and then she'll start to laugh, and then she'll like snort and not snort, but like suck in air and like a, you know, suck in air and she'll do that in between her laughs a lot. I wish she'd laugh more. It's kind of hard. Like I can't seem to make her laugh like I used to. But I mean, she's a real happy, active baby though. So yes, you are. Yeah, I don't really. Whatever, as long as she's happy, I suppose. Yeah, I can't believe she's sleeping. It's a miracle. Literally, it's a miracle. I never thought she would. Not only that, but I couldn't seem to break her of her swaddle. And Brian and I were like, you know, we had reached our breaking point, or I had reached my breaking point when she woke up. Well, she hadn't. One night she didn't fall asleep till like 1 a.m. And I mean, she hadn't been asleep yet. 1 a.m. Finally got her to sleep. She woke up like an hour later and would not go back to sleep. She'd fall asleep in my lap or fall asleep nursing. I'd lay her down, and by the time she'd hit her play yard, she'd be awake. And I hit my breaking point. I walked out of the room. I turned on her monitor and I sat down, and she literally just talked to herself for like 5 minutes, and then she fell asleep. That simple. Just So this is when she was in her room, and when I realized, I was like, okay, well obviously I'm what's keeping her awake, because the second that she opens her eyes and she sees me, she's awake, wide awake. So I decided that day we were gonna move her to her crib. This was I think she was, I don't know, maybe 5.5 months old ish. So the next night we put her in her crib, and we decided we were gonna have to sleep train her and break her of her swaddle, because we definitely couldn't have her swaddled in her bedroom. You know, in our room, I could wake up if she even semi rolled over, and she hadn't really been rolling over in her swaddle to begin with, but I was just nervous about it. So we tried breaking her, which of course failed. She hates all her sleep sacks except for her zippity zip, which it took us to the point that she wouldn't fall asleep in it unless she fell asleep on her own. If we assisted her in any way, rocking, nursing, bottle, whatever, she wouldn't stay asleep. So we just you know, we would lay her down, and then at first we tried letting her cry, which didn't work. Well, this was actually the like third or fourth method I tried. She was pretty well sleep trained actually when she was younger, like 3 months, with the no cry sleep solution. And then when she hit her sleep regression, she just, you know, arsed right out of her. Huh. Are you drooling now? Is that drool on you? All over the place? Anyways, that's enough about sleep. Anything else? She likes to stand a lot, obviously. This is, you know, like, I can sit her completely down and she'll stand on her own. Like, she is bouncing all on her own. She doesn't have the balance there. She's got all the strength she needs to do just about all the different things, but she just doesn't have that balance yet. I think she's just too used to the fact that she knows I'm going to catch her. So I guess it'll just be a while. She tastes good? So I'm a little nervous with her flying with her next week. It's difficult now that she'll only eat, or she'll only take a bottle when she's hungry. So I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to line it up so that whenever we're taking off and landing, she'll take a bottle. I'm trying to get her to take her pacifier for just like during the day soothing reasons, not for falling asleep. And I'm hoping that, you know, I'll be able to take it away and I'll have to give back to her. She doesn't really seem to want it right now, but she'll take it. So hopefully I can just get her to take it while we're flying. And I'm not too worried about keeping her entertained on the flights, but we have a really long layover in Calgary, I think it is, for like 6 hours. I'm worried about her sleep. I'm worried that she's not going to be able to nap with so much going on and her not being in her crib. So I'm not too sure what I'm going to do. obviously we can just, we're taking her stroller so we can get her to go to sleep in her stroller. I just don't know if she's going to be able to fall asleep. Especially because we don't want a sister in there. I was really hoping that before we got to that point, before we got to the flight, that she would, be one of those babies that falls asleep when she plays. No, she doesn't. She doesn't even come close. If I try to wait to that point to see if she will, then she gets really cranky. She's really hard to put down, so I can't even wait to that. But I'm gonna bring a music box for her. I'm actually gonna bring on her zippity zip just to see if maybe that's a bit of a sleep association for her, so she'll sleep at the airport. So you doing anything else special? She's completely mastered rolling. Way mastered. Oh yeah, she sleeps on her belly now too. Only place she'll sleep. For the most part. I guess that's really about it. Yeah. Oh yeah, she doesn't like her rice cereal at all. Hates her rice cereal actually. I don't blame her. It's pretty gross looking. So she likes oatmeal a lot. She loves her oatmeal. And I don't give her jar baby food. I make her baby food. We did buy some because I'm gonna have to use it at the airport. And I bought Heinz bananas, and I had already given her some homemade stuff, and at first she really didn't seem to care for it. But when we tried the Heinz, like the face that she made, I mean, like she was like shaking her head and leaning back, like after the first bite. So we threw it out, and I tasted it. It was disgusting. Like it didn't even taste like, I don't even know what it tasted like. It didn't even nothing like bananas. It was pink, for God's sakes. It was disgusting. So it's like, I'm just gonna make her baby food, and I'll give her some canned stuff. Like I'll give her like probably like canned pears or canned applesauce. Just for her for the flight, because it's a 12-hour day, so she's gotta be able to eat all that stuff, and I really don't want to have to bring a cooler for her food. It's gonna be hard enough with her bottles, because what I'm gonna have to do is I got the drop-in liner bottles, which she doesn't really seem to like very much, but I'm just gonna keep giving them to her and hope that she'll just be whatever with them like her other bottles. And I hope I don't have any trouble getting her baby food and stuff on the plane. But I should, not here anyways. I'll probably easily be able to get on the plane here because they just don't care. They're so easygoing. But yeah, I guess that's it. Oh, size wise, she's humongous. This is a 6 months onesie, and it's actually not that loose. Like it's not loose at all. It's actually kind of tight lengthwise. She's mostly wearing. She's actually got some 12-month onesies that she'll wear, and her PJs have to be 6 to 12 months, and they're like the humongous ones. They're not that big on her though, scarily enough. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. She's growing so quickly, it's ridiculous. But it's great. Yes, as you can see, definitely teething. Everything goes in her mouth. Everything. Like if I'm like this, and I'll let her sit in my lap, and she'll hold onto my legs to balance. She will gnaw on my knee. Yeah, gnaw on my knee. It's so cute. And her hair is growing in. Her bald spot is almost completely gone. And on top of her hair, she's gotten lots of hair. It's really hard to see because it's so light, but she's got lots of it. It's getting pretty long even. It's so cute. Okay, yeah, I think that's it. I'll get this posted now. Alright, so I might post another video after we get back from Chicago about her doctor's appointment stuff. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways.